In the ruins of time, beneath the soil of Kireti in Tamil Nadu, tiny pieces of baked terracotta whispered a secret. Was it a game or a code? Perhaps a legacy. Today, we open the files of history to solve a mystery over 1,500 years old. This is the story of chess. Chess is believed to have originated in India during the Gupta Empire around the 6th century CE. It was then called Chaturanga, meaning 4 divisions of the military: infantry, cavalry, elephants, and chariots. The pieces were simple, carved from wood, ivory, or terracotta, shaped by hand, and steeped in meaning. Each army was marked by form, texture, and craft. A chariot here, an elephant there, soldiers lined up like the footmen of kings. This name directly reflects the pieces that later evolved into the pawn, knight, bishop, and rook. Archaeological findings in Kireti, Tamil Nadu, have uncovered terracotta game pieces from the Sangam period, some resembling modern-day pawns. Though not conclusive, scholars suggest these could represent early forms of strategy games. Every chess piece has deep symbolic and tactical meaning. Pawn. The foot soldiers, 8 per side, reflect the infantry units. They move forward only 1 square, but can capture diagonally, suggesting tactical progression. Upon reaching the last rank, a pawn can be promoted to any piece, usually a queen, symbolizing that even the least powerful can achieve greatness. Knight. The knight, represented by a horse, reflects the ancient cavalry. It moves in an L shape, the only piece that can jump over others, indicating its unpredictability and versatility. Bishop. Bishops move diagonally, suggesting sweeping attacks. Each side has 2 bishops to represent 2 flanks of divisions. Rook. Moving in straight lines across ranks and files, rooks represent with speed and directness. Queen. Originally a vizier or advisor in early Indian and Persian versions, the queen's power increased in Europe, likely due to the rise of influential queens. She can move any number of squares in any direction, making her the most powerful piece. King. The central figure. The entire game revolves around protecting this piece. It can move 1 square in any direction and must never be placed in danger. The number and type of each piece reflect actual ancient battlefield formations. 2 elephants, 2 horses, and 2 rooks symbolize the left and right flanks of a classical army. The 8 pawns represent the front lines of infantry. Chaturanga evolved into Shatranj in Persia. Here, the game took on a slightly different structure. The moves of the bishop and queen were limited. The Persians were passionate about it and refined the terminology. Shah, king, and Shah mat, the king is helpless, later shortened to English word checkmate. The game began to change, not in spirit, but in form. Here, artistic expression met spiritual discipline. Religious traditions discouraged the depiction of human and animal figures, so the chess pieces became abstract, reduced to elegant shapes, symbolic, refined, and geometric. The human-like warriors of India were transformed into minimalist icons: a bishop, a knight, now just a carved emblem or a rounded tower. To help players tell the 2 sides apart, color became important. Persians' artisans used natural materials to create contrast, such as dark wood against light wood or pieces hand-dyed with natural pigments. These materials allowed players to clearly distinguish each side, even when the pieces looked similar in shape. When Islamic empires expanded, they brought Shatranj with them. Arab historians like al-Masudi wrote about the game's intellectual merits and strategic depth. It became a tool for teaching tactics, logic, and patience. As chess was taking shape in early medieval India and Persia, another game was already flourishing in China. Go, or Weiqi, played on a 19 by 19 grid with 361 points, Go emphasized not attack, but the quiet art of encirclement. It valued territory over destruction, patience over speed. While chess, played on an 8 by 8 board, sought checkmate through elimination, Go pursued control through influence. Two games, worlds apart, yet each a reflection of human conflict shaped into pure strategy. In Japan, by the 10th century, shogi emerged, just as chess was reaching Europe. Played on a 9 by 9 board, shogi mirrored chess in its goal, the capture of a king. But it introduced a twist. Captured pieces could return to the board under their captor's command, a reflection of samurai warfare where loyalty could shift and every warrior had worth, even in defeat. Different lands, different rules, different boards, but the same timeless pursuit, to outthink your opponent. Chess arrived in Europe by the 9th century. As chess journeyed into medieval Europe around the 12th century, something subtle, yet profound, began to change. But in medieval France, chess was discouraged by the church and some rulers because it was linked to gambling and seen as a distraction from religious duties. King Louis IX even tried to ban it in 1254. Some believed it encouraged pride and competition. Still, the game survived and remained popular in royal courts and among thinkers. Major modifications in the game were done in Europe. Gone were the simple clay and wooden pieces of old. In their place emerged elegant sets carved from ivory and ebony, light and dark, smooth and distinct. It wasn't just about beauty. It was about contrast, clarity on the battlefield of the mind. Around the 15th century, another significant change was made to the game. The queen, once limited like a bishop, gained immense power, possibly influenced by queens such as Isabella of Castile. This change made the game faster and more aggressive. Lewis Carroll, the famed mathematician and author, saw something special in the game. In his sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, he used chess as the very foundation of the story. Through the looking glass, Alice enters a world governed by the rules of chess, where she meets a rather unwelcoming ensemble of chess pieces, each character, each move, carefully placed just like in a real match. The game was no mere backdrop, it was the story. Bergman's The Seventh Seal. A knight plays chess with death. Every move asks, can we outthink fate? Chess becomes a mirror of existence. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, and the Philosopher's Stone. Wizard's chess brings the game to life, explosive, magical, and symbolic of strategy, sacrifice, and intellect. From the Queen's Gambit to Queen of Katwe, modern stories use chess to show growth, struggle, and brilliance. Whether it's Beth Harmon or Fiona Mutesi, each move shapes destiny. In 1770, Hungarian inventor Wolfgang von Kempelen unveiled the mechanical Turk, a life-sized automaton that appeared to play chess against humans. Dressed in Ottoman robes and seated behind a cabinet of gears, the Turk amazed audiences by defeating skilled opponents, including Napoleon and Benjamin Franklin. But the machine was a clever hoax. Inside the cabinet, a hidden human chess master controlled the moves. For decades, it fooled spectators around the world before being destroyed in a fire in 1854. The name lived on, and centuries later, Amazon used it for its online platform that assigns tasks to human workers behind the scenes, echoing the original illusion of machine intelligence powered by people. In 1924, chess made bold public appearances on two historic stages. In Leningrad's Palace Square, Soviet masters Peter Romanovsky and Ilya Rabinovich played a spectacular human chess game using real soldiers, horses, and Red Army members as pieces. The game, directed via telephone and megaphone, lasted 5 hours, spanned 67 moves, and drew a crowd of 8,000, part of a Soviet effort to promote chess as a tool for worker education and revolutionary preparedness. That same year in Paris, the first unofficial chess Olympiad was held alongside the Summer Olympics, marking the birth of FIDE, the World Chess Federation. While no similar spectacle occurred there, the Paris event cemented chess's international standing, making 1924 a landmark year for the game in both spectacle and structure. Fast forward to 1972. The Cold War is raging. Iceland becomes the battlefield. Bobby Fischer, an American prodigy, unpredictable, intense. Boris Spassky, the Soviet world champion, backed by a nation that worships chess. What followed wasn't just a game, it was an international psychological war. The match went beyond strategy. It involved political pressure, mind games, and global spectatorship. When Fischer won, it wasn't just for himself, it was for democracy, for freedom. At least, that's how the world saw it. Garry Kasparov, born in Soviet Azerbaijan, rose to become the youngest world chess champion at just 22. Fierce, fearless, and famously aggressive, he redefined modern chess with a style that was both brilliant and brutal. In 1997, IBM supercomputer Deep Blue beat world champion Garry Kasparov. It wasn't just a game, it was a moment in history that was popularly said to be man versus machine. Modern chess legends include Magnus Carlsen, Norwegian genius, known for endgame mastery and universal style from Europe. Judith Polgar broke all barriers for women in chess from Europe. Ho Yifan dominated women's chess while competing with top male players from China. Ding Liren, first Chinese world champion from China. Viswanathan Anand, five-time world champion from India. Their games are studied by millions. Their legacies stretch across generations. Young stars like Prajnananda, Gukesh, and Vaishali are following his path. Gukesh, who became a grandmaster at just 12, is now the reigning world chess champion, a symbol of India's new dominance on the global stage. India now boasts over 80 grandmasters. In 2022, India hosted the 44th Chess Olympiad, bringing global attention and pride. With platforms like chess.com and Lichess, chess has gone global. Tournaments stream to millions. AI provides analysis. Schools teach it to children as mental training. The game has become more inclusive, accessible, and engaging. Today, engines like Stockfish and AlphaZero analyze millions of positions per second, teaching humans more about chess than centuries of manual study. From the ancient sands of Kirati to AI in the cloud, chess has traveled through time and space. It is a symbol of human intellect, conflict, and harmony. We don't just play chess, we live it.